Hello everybody, welcome to YB Starlight. Today we have with us a rap sensation, an amalgamation of talent, an artist whose artistry has crossed the boundaries between mainstream and indie. Srinivasan Iyer, better known as EPR.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining YB Starlight. We really appreciate your support.
No problems. It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you. So a little about Vibe. Vibe is an art curation platform for all artists, and we also have an e-commerce where these artworks can be sold.
All right. It's pretty nice.
Thank
I'll
you.
check it out for sure.
Thank you. So to get us started, what got you started as a rapper?
I've been always interested into poetry and black art poetry since the beginning when I was like 13, 12. And then I started reading a lot. And then hip hop struck me like a bolt of lightning and I got into it. And it slowly started as, you know, a poetry or a message that I wanted to get about my life to other people. And then protest poetry happened, and I believe that I had a bigger purpose to play, which is like, every artist has a responsibility to uphold, and we get the stage and we have the people who will listen to us. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, sorry, I got a call. So yeah, so we all artists have a responsibility to uphold, and I believe, and my father always told me to write to express and not to impress. So I started reading more on political philosophies and stuff like that, and that's how I got into rapping and hip hop music and protest poetry as a whole.
Wow. So how has hip hop influenced your life?
It has influenced a lot. I mean, like there are two things that has influenced a lot in my life. Actually, three things. Poetry, of course, because I was always an introverted kind of a guy who never used to have friends and stuff like that. So poetry gave me a chance to explore myself and not to dwell into negative areas. What happens is when you isolate yourself from the world,
Yeah.
what happens is basically you lose touch from everyone and then you lack confidence and composure and everything. So poetry gave me that composure, the confidence to actually tackle the world and tackle all the obstacles related
Yes.
with it. The next is anime because I love anime a lot. And yeah, absolutely, because I used to like there's a word, I mean, like for people who are obsessed with anime, it's called an otaku, so you can actually call me an otaku. And yes, of course. And then hip hop is something that is really been my life support, because the way I look at hip hop is not as a musical genre that people mostly relate to. I look at it as a culture and something more beyond it. I mean, like, if to be like really honest,
Yeah.
like if we start reading about hip hop music, we see that the basic four elements of hip hop music is MCing, DJing, graffiti, and b-boying, right? And that
Yeah.
is where it and and people generally talk about it, from the 1960s and 1970s, and then they have a very linear approach in hip hop. But when I
Absolutely.
started reading more about hip hop music, and when I love history a lot. So the first time I actually pictured a caveman's graffiti, I mean, like the caveman's painting, right? It looked to
Yes.
me as a graffiti, right? That was the first graffiti ever.
Yeah.
So for me, hip hop is everywhere. I mean, like if there's a person who's getting oppressed and there's a person standing up against that oppression and injustice, that is hip hop for me. So that is how I look at it as a whole, and also to pass on, positive messages,
Yes.
positivity to the youth, and empowering the youth. That is
Absolutely.
the major thing.
What inspires you to write music or perform?
What inspires me? Uh, mm, Basically, like I said, I mean, like I grew up listening to a lot of System of a Down, Rage Against the
Yes.
Machine, Sage Francis, and a lot of other people, and Linkin Park, of course. So, so the thing what happened is basically when I used to listen to a lot of System of a Down and their politically charged lyrics,
Yeah.
or be it Zach De La Rocha's lyrics, it sparked my soul, and I thought that maybe I could do that same thing, in the Indian context or something beyond it. So I started doing that, and I started raising awareness to hip hop music because I always felt that in India, hip hop has come in a very weird manner because all we see, I mean, like, all we see in Indian hip hop is, I mean, like, when it started off, basically it was all about cars and, you know,
Absolutely.
objectifying
Yes.
women and misogynistic comments and stuff like that. And it's all, I mean, like, on one end, hip hop has been a tool to speak against injustice. At the same time,
Yes.
when we turn on television channels, we see like the so-called icons are actually spreading messages of hate, be it gun violence and stuff like that. I mean, like, they're glorifying guns, and
Yes.
on the same time, on the same platform, when you can actually make a change to the young people by inspiring them to actually read more books or to be aware.
Yes.
You're telling them that if you do not have beautiful women surrounding you, you'd be a lesser man, or if you do not have certain brands of cars, you'd be a lesser man.
Yes.
So it is more into advertising and stuff like that. So I thought that it's high time that people, like independent people who are not tied up with bigger labels and stuff like that, who have their own vision to actually step up. That inspired me a lot
Wow.
because the favorite bands that I used to follow, they used to be always outspoken about the injustice that is happening around in the world. I mean, like, a few days ago, System of a Down released a couple of songs which
Yeah.
was on the Armenian genocide. So if there are people doing things across the world, why can't we do the same? I mean, like, I mean,
Absolutely.
like, hip hop is not limited to just party songs and stuff like that. I mean, like, I'm not against party song, even I like to chill,
Yes.
but at the same time, if you can put in a message, and when especially we see a lot of student suicides in the country, if you could use
Yes.
hip hop to actually curb the numbers into a lower level, that would be really nice. That's what I feel. So
Yes. As to give a message to the youth.
yeah, absolutely.
So do you enjoy performing or do you enjoy writing and producing more?
I enjoy everything. I mean, like, everything. I mean, like, creating something makes me feel like a mother. It's like my baby. All right. So
Yeah.
it starts off when you have an idea in your head, and then you want to craft it, and then you want to better it. Then
Yes.
you get the blueprint, and then you sit on your computers and you listen, and then you record it and listen to it about like 100 million times, and then you make your friend listen to it, and then you would want. And sometimes I make random strangers who have never heard rap music ever. I make them listen to it to see how what they feel. I mean, like, they give the best comments ever. I mean, like,
Oh,
if I make my if I make one of my fans listen to my song, he would obviously praise me. So I don't look for those kind of people
yes.
to share my songs, but I would rather like to make people like my mother. Okay, my mother does not like rap music at all, but then again, I would make her listen to my every song to see how she reacts.
Yeah.
And then the procedure, of course, performing is completely different. Performing is, it's completely on a different level. It's the adrenaline rush that you see. You feed off the energy from the crowd.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
feel the vibe of the crowd. and and sometimes, I feel like a political leader. I mean, like, when I get up on stage and I see thousands and thousands of people, and when I take my fist up in the air and I see all the people rising their fist up and stuff like that, so it makes me feel like a political leader. But then again, yes, performing, I really like performing a lot. I mean, like, I really like. It's been like within the span of 10 years of
Yeah.
performing with my band. I performed like about 700 shows, concerts here and there, and it's been a great roller coaster ride. And yeah, I really like performing. I mean, like, creating as a different dimension altogether,
Yes.
but
Absolutely.
performance is something that I really like.
Wow. So when we heard the song Srini Bana EPR, the lyrics were
Yeah,
mind-boggling. How was the writing
yeah.
process for the same?
Uh, the writing process was really really simple. I mean, like, it was generally the if you follow my other songs, what happens is basically I really want to talk about every song that I put out. I really want to
Yes.
talk about a specific issue or
Yeah.
a group of issues that I really want to speak about. And I refrain myself from, the self-bragging lyrics. I mean, like, the
Yeah.
self-boasting lyrics. I am
Absolutely.
better than you. My rap is better than you. My rap can kill you and stuff like that. These are all stereotypical rap songs that you would here. It's
Yeah.
not that I'm against it, but it's something that I would never do.
Yeah.
So generally what happens is I pick on an issue that I really want to talk about. I research on it, and then I paint a picture, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to storytelling. But Srinivasan IPR was a song which was on my life. So
Yeah.
I did not have to research on anything. So basically what I did was like I just jotted down whatever that was there in my mind.
Yeah.
And if you see the connection is like when I grew up, I never knew how to speak Hindi properly because uh, because I live in West Bengal, which is like uh, in the east coast of India,
Yeah.
and here we speak Bengali, and I am a Tamil by blood. So my mother tongue is Tamil. So I live in a place where people speak Bengali. So I know Bengali very well. I know Tamil very well. So Hindi was never something that uh, was I like Bollywood films, but then again, Hindi is something that I never had the grasp of.
Yes.
All right. So I used to rap in English in my early years, and then I thought that if I could actually learn up the language Hindi and could rap in it, it would make me widen my reach.
Yes.
So I started rapping in Hindi, and so the idea was very simple. When you're weak at a certain language, I still consider myself weak in Hindi. So if if I write something in Hindi, the rhyme is not coming in Hindi, so I'd switch off
Yes.
to English. And if an English rhyme is not coming, I would switch up to something else. So it's a very dual lingo kind of a thingy.
Yeah.
It's a very complex thingy that happens. It sounds complex, but to me, it's like it's very easy. And yeah, so that's how I did it. I mean, like people thought that I mean, like I am speaking some foreign language and shit like that. I mean, like that was just normal stuff. And yeah, that song, I never thought that. I thought that people are gonna say like that song sucks or something like that. But then again, when I performed that song, because at the end of the finale, I really wanted to give a touch of myself. I wanted to inspire other people and other people like me and people everywhere. I mean, like I just wanted people to, pick up the pen and bleed
Yes.
ink. I mean, like a lot because it has helped me a lot. I mean, writing has helped me a lot. Hip hop has helped me a lot, and I'm pretty sure there are other people who are suffering from so many things like
Yeah.
isolation and communication and so many other things. And if you use music to empower yourself, it can really help benefit you. So I want to
Absolutely.
pass that message out. So that's how I wanted to write Srini Bana EPR, and the EPR that I mean, like, people really have this very weird thingy that once people see them on TV, they have this godlike image. Okay, this guy is like
Yeah.
this. This guy will roam around cars. This guy will go to only posh parties and stuff. It's not like that. I just wanted to break that image that we are normal human beings and we're normaler than you think. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So Srinivana EPR was like that.
What kind of music does EPR enjoy?
I listen to a lot of kind of music. I mean, like, uh, if you open my playlist on Apple Music, I mean, like,
Yeah.
uh, you would not find a single hip hop song. I mean, if you consider me a hip hop artist, and then when you check my Apple Music playlist and frequently shuffled songs, you will
Yeah.
find a lot of K-pop because I love K-pop a lot, and
Oh.
and it's also very very fresh because I don't want to stick listening to a particular genre because
Yeah.
that way what happens is my music making process becomes very stagnant. So I listen to a lot of stuff, be it folk music, be it Western classical, be it Eastern classical, something that I don't do.
Yeah.
And then what I do is like I listen to a lot of K-pop because I get a lot of ideas from that. And plus K-pop makes me happy. So yeah.
How has the transition been, such as from underground authority to EPR as an
Yeah.
MC?
Uh, when I started Underground Authority, I mean, like rap music was never there. I mean, like you literally had to explain to people that that you are not talking
Yeah.
fastly. You are actually that's actually a craft called rapping, which is called rhythm and
Yes.
poetry. Because people back then in Calcutta, it was all into rock bands and rock music, and people were
Yeah.
still stuck with Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden and Megadeth. I and I really loved it. It's not that I don't like rock music, But yes, so when I started off, I was like a really hip hop head. You know,
Yeah.
I used to be this when I was 21. Everybody has that phase of 21, right? Just hold.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
There was another
yeah,
call.
I can hear you.
Uh, yeah. So when I was 21, I was really hell bent on
Yeah.
hell bent on being telling people that hip hop is like I was like more like an evangelist of hip hop, right? I used to go to everyone and say that okay, hip hop is the best
Yes.
genre, your genre sucks and stuff like that. But then again, I realized the shortcomings of it. The shortcomings of it was like I really took that one form of music is better than the others, which is absolutely not true. And what I did was to, learn other forms of music and incorporate
Yeah.
that into my hip hop style. So I formed up my rock band and I learned a lot from my guitar players and, drummers and everyone. I learned a lot from it. And then the style of fusion started coming. I mean, like I used to fuse a lot of rap music
Yes.
influences with rock music influences, and uh, and at that point of time, there were Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and
Yes.
RTM and everything that happened, and uh, and then we went into a show called India's Got Talent, which I was really against. I thought what would a band do in a talent show? I mean, like, generally you have in a talent show you have people like showing magic and
Yeah.
something weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
never thought a band fit in that place. But then again, we went there and we reached up to the finals, and so yeah, it was a good ride. It was a roller coaster ride for sure. But yeah, it helped me learn a lot about music, and it
Yeah.
helped. I believe that when every artist needs to break their ego once, and I believe that I broke my ego. That's why I'm really free right
Yeah.
now and open to all kinds of musical genres, be it from death metal to K-pop, which is at the extreme poles. But then again, I love listening to both.
I really like your music. It is really nice.
Thank you very much.
So, the world has been different during this pandemic, and we have seen many people expand their musical selections as well. For instance, they will
Yeah,
listen to something that they will not have listened to in their daily routine. How has something like
yeah.
this affected towards you in your choice of music or in the reception of your music?
Uh, in this situation, what happens is like, see, for the last 7 months, it's never been throughout the 10 years, right? It's
Yeah.
never been such a time that I have been at home. I mean, like generally, I'm like traveling, doing performing here and there, concerts and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I never used to get to spend time with my family. So in this past 7 months, I've been spending a lot of time with my family, some quality time, and listening to my mom and dad a lot, like a good ideal son. And this has influenced me more uh, in the positivity of making more music, even if
Yeah.
there is a pandemic going on. I think that every dark clouds have a silver lining. So
Absolutely.
basically, I think that we will get past this some day or the other. For now, we just need to hold on to it. And I've just been making music, a lot of music. I've been listening to a lot of lo-fi music, and I'm coming out with another album. In this
Wow.
pandemic, I dropped my first album. I mean, like first solo hip hop album, which is called Protest Poetry. It has 17 songs. It got
Yes.
a huge reception, and then I'm already working on my second album, which is called Reggae Hindustan.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm switching styles. I mean, like from protest poetry to doing something completely reggae, and now
Yeah.
completely you know dwelling into genres like lo-fi, and I'm trying to enlarge my vision and to try and talk about other topics as well, like something
Yes.
which is less heavier. As in, like when I talk about student suicides and everything, most of my songs are politically very heavy and supercharged. But I really want to talk about like easier stuff,
Yeah.
and sometimes songs like which you can listen to and just chill as well. So that is the change that this pandemic has brought into me. And plus, I've been making a lot of theme songs as well. So in this pandemic, I made the theme song for MTV Roadies. Oh, again.
Wow.
Hello. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I made the theme song for MTV Roadies. I made the theme song
Wow.
for MTV Supermodel of the Year, and a lot of other shows here and there. So
Yes.
production work is pretty. It keeps me busy. At
Yeah.
the same time, I've been exploring more. So yeah, that's it.
So what has been the best experience you have had in hip hop or as a band?
As a band, yeah, there was this incident in 2013. I was touring with my band. We were about to release our first album called You Authority in 2013, and we were actually touring the country, and we were doing a pub
Yeah.
tour. Then what happened is like I got diagnosed with this disease called cholesteatoma. So that disease basically simply, if you simply put it, it's like a bacteria which is inside your ear and which is eating up your ear bones or ear ossicles, which are responsible for your hearing, incus malleus and stapes. So and then I was diagnosed with that disease, and I went to my doctor, and my doctor said that you need to get operated as soon as possible. And I said, okay, fine. And then every surgery comes with a cost,
Yeah.
right? So nothing is perfect. So basically, my doctor said that you might be deaf in 1 year, and you might never be able to get up on stage ever again. And that thing really struck me really hard, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Uh, so I got operated, and I still believed in the fact that okay, fine, if music goes out of my life, uh, at least I'll have my poetry with me. So I went into the surgery table being positive, and then after 3 months of recovery, what happened was like I started miraculously I gained about like 70 to 80% of my hearing back on my ear. And then what happened was at that point of time, like since all my band members we earned through music, right? And it was
Yeah.
like 4 months we were completely off shows, and we were not doing any shows, and everything was cancelled. And the band members are really nice, and they did not offer another vocalist or something like that. Generally what happens is like if a vocalist or a guitar player goes out, your
Yeah.
band member will actually replace you with someone else. But my band members were really nice, and what they did was like they waited for me, and they waited for me to recover, and they believed in me that maybe that he would be back. So at that point of time what happened was like everything was going off the place. We had invested a lot of money on the album. We had gotten the album mixed and mastered from New Zealand, and it was like a huge project that we had invested a
Yes.
lot into, and everything was failing, and we were like really running low in our finances. And suddenly what happened was I got this form. There was this form which says that there is a international rock contest that is happening in Nagaland, Kohima, and it is like the biggest competition in India. It's a rock contest, and the winners get about like 10 lakh rupees in cash, which is like a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And so I said that at that point of time, I told my band members like, look, we have never been afraid of competing and stuff like that. So then my band members said that we are already professional bands, and why do we have to compete with like smaller bands or semi-pro bands? So I said that why do we have to fear anything? If we believe in our music, then we can actually do it. So what
Absolutely.
happened was we competed. Yeah, we competed and we won like the best band, the best vocalist, the
Wow.
best drummer, the best bassist, and the best runners-up guitar. So practically we won everything over
Yes.
there. And so that was a comeback moment for me. I mean, there was this one point that I really thought everything was over for me, but at the same time, uh, I bounced back because I believed.
Yeah.
So that is something that I really want to share, because anything is possible. Anything is possible. Even at even if you're in the valley of the shadow of death and stuff like that, and
Yes.
even if death is actually stalking you, you can actually come out of it if you believe in it. And that's the message, and that is my comeback moment, and that is the story of mine. So yeah, so
Wow.
that's the best moment of my life.
Wow. What do you see yourself as, the art masterpiece or the Leonardo da Vinci of your music?
I see myself as Galileo Galilei. So, so, so there's this interesting story when Galileo Galilei went up to the church and said that it's formulated that, of
Yeah.
the heliocentric concept. And everybody believed that Earth is the center of the universe back then, right?
Yeah.
and everybody laughed at him, and then Galileo was executed by the church.
Yeah.
So my thing is kind of like that right now. What is happening is I'm using hip hop to actually, I'm using a very non-popular method of hip hop music. I know that my music would not sell as much
Hmm.
as the commercial hip hop would sell. I mean, like everybody would love to see overtly produced music videos where you have like supercars, when you have models all around and alcohol
Absolutely.
and everything. And compared to that, when I'm talking about real issues, or maybe you can say that you can say that I am talking about uh, I'm talking about all kinds of issues that are happening. I mean, like I'm presenting
Yes.
reality to you. It's like student suicides, mental depression. I mean, like people do not even take depression as seriously as
Seriously,
people
as
should be
they,
taking.
yeah,
And they think that depression is something like it's your problem. It's not my problem. You're depressed, it's your
absolutely.
problem. I mean, like people do not
Think
take that
that.
responsibility, that bro, that if I say something nice to him, that will motivate him to come out of his block and probably live
Yes.
better, right? So I
Yeah.
talk about these issues, or issues like acid attack victims, and everything like crime, corruption,
Yeah.
or whatever. And I've been always criticized for things like, okay, why do you I have a song called Syrian Lullaby, and
Yeah.
which spoke on the Syrian crisis, Syrian refugee crisis. And people
Yeah.
are like, bro, why are you talking about Syria? And why, you are an Indian, why are you talking about Syria? I mean, like, how does that even make sense?
So,
I mean, like,
yeah,
we
exactly.
are all, I mean, before, I mean, like, before the nationality, before your passports, before everything, you have to believe that we are human beings, and we are
Yes.
a part of the ecosystem. And plus,
Absolutely.
we need to start acting as one. I mean, like, there are people who do not care about climate change. So these are the issues. These are very
Yeah.
non-popular issues. And if I start talking upon them, and if I start making music on that, people will be like, okay, bro, I do not want to listen to these songs in a party. So I know all of that, but
Yeah.
still, I believe that hip hop can be used as a tool to actually, spread
Can be.
awareness. And so that is exactly what I'm doing. And probably I would not be appreciated right now, but in the coming years, like Galileo Galilei, probably if things go right, then people would be recognizing me. So yeah,
But your music is really nice.
thank you very much.
So, what is the one thing that you'd like to say to all the upcoming artists?
Uh, Three words for you guys: inspire, lead, revolutionize. And if the best thing is like, to take in criticism. All right, take criticism. I mean, like, and don't get upset if you're having haters. I mean, like, just take that as a motivational aspect of it. I mean, like, when I was
Absolutely.
rapping, people were like, okay, people were like, dude, you have such a heavy voice. I mean, like, why are you even rapping? And then when there were people, when I started talking about politics, people were like, why are you talking about politics? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're a rapper, you should be talking about girls. I mean, like, how does that limit me? If I'm a rapper, I just have to talk about girls. I mean, I cannot talk
Yeah.
about Mother Earth or something like that. And people will be like, no, you cannot do that. So people always have this stereotypical, they will always try to fit you into stereotypes. So break the
Yeah.
stereotypes, do what your heart wants to tell you. So exactly. So that's it. So that's what I want to tell the people who are actually into art.
Yeah.
Just, keep pursuing your dreams, listen to yourself, explore, self-explore. And yeah, keep the company of good people and keep making good art and beautiful art. That's it. I mean, like, it can be weird. Art can be weird. So, and people need to accept that. I mean,
Yes.
like, sometimes I make experimental music, and sometimes nobody grooves to that, but I still like it because
Yeah.
it's my art.
It's your.
And so yeah, so never be disappointed with anything. I mean, like, likes, numbers, views are just a number. All right.
Just a
I
number.
mean, when yeah, exactly, it's just a number. I mean, like, when I was small, people used to be bragging a lot about Orkut testimonials, right? So see
Yeah.
where Orkut is right now. Orkut is gone. I mean, right now, after that, there comes Facebook. I mean, Facebook is already declining, and
Yeah.
everything has a process, right? So do not always base your creativity on your numbers and stuff like that, or how much likes you get and stuff like that, because it's not a good way of valuing
Yeah.
or valuation, so yeah, so keep on making art and never be depressed on anything. If you're depressed, talk to people around you, talk to your good
Absolutely.
friends, your parents and stuff like that. And yeah, always positivity. That's the best key ever.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those inspiring words. You are an inspiration. And
Thank you so much.
like I really like your music. And one thing I would like
Thank
to
you.
ask you, what do you think about the White platform?
It's nice, and it's something new, and whenever I see something new that is happening, and I have this earthly connect with people who are like, very nice and very humble,
Yeah.
and I really like this platform a lot, and I would request all the people or whoever's watching this interview, that just support this platform and make it,
Thank,
as big as the universe. That was like
thank you.
the nice metaphor to put it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, you
No
are
problems.
really nice, and it was really nice to talk to you. Your words mean a lot to me. Thank you so much.
No problems.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.